ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय। ॐ नमो नारायणाय।
श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि।
रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्।
சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्य कवितार्किक केसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणौ श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यो वन्दे वेदान्त देशिकम्। இரொன்று தோப்பல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று ஓரொன்று தானே மையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு
Vedanta Deshika in his Sri Pancaratra Raksa now deals with the topic, namely how to decide the process in the temple of self-manifest Lord according to the Parameshwara Samhita. Now we have come down to Srirangam. Yate punaha, yate which punaha again, or punaha meaning but. Parameshware, in the Parameshwara Samhita, which has been a book which has been written by Lord Shiva, Parameshwara. Though we can take Parameshwara as Lord also, Lord Vishnu also, here it is very specific that this is Parameshwara Samhita written by Lord Shiva. Now, in fact, we would like to say that the grandson praises the grandfather. The grandson fixes the process of the puja, Tiruvaradhanam, to the grandfather. The word grand is everywhere. Even the creator, Lord Brahma, is called Grand Sire, Old English, Grand Sire. And so also Vyasa Bhagavan or Valmiki Bhagavan, or especially even Bhishma. Bhishma is called Grand Sire. Very great people are called Grand Sire. Very great people are called Bhagavan. So that means they are worshipable as equal to Bhagavan. So that is the beauty here. So Parameshwari in the Parameshwara Samhita, let us take the chapter Adhyaya called decision, that is making a conclusive idea, proposal, what should be done with respect to Swayam Vyakta. self-manifested figure of the Lord. The title of this page will be Divya Shastrena Pujanasya Sarvatra Sambhavaha. Now the title itself is a very common title that it will happen. Sambhavaha, Tamila Nihachchi. Tamila Solon Sambhavahana Nihachchi. Unfortunately, it is given a what we call negative meaning in court language. Sambhavaha sometimes means murder. Let us forget it. So, Sarvatra Sambhavaha, it happens everywhere. What? Pujanasya, namely the worship, that is Tiruvaradhanam, according to Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Puja, as we commonly call it. Pujanasya, that is worship. By what? Divya Shastrena. Please remember the stress by Vedanta Deshika on this book, Sri Pancaratra Raksa, that Pancaratra is the Divya Shastra. Pancaratra is the spiritual science, the divine science. So there is no other method to apply. What is the advice of Parameshwara Samhita? This is the advice of Parameshwara Samhita. Parameshwara Samhita advises us to follow Pancaratra being the divine science, to apply to all temples, including Swayamvyakta. This is what we are now trying to drive the point. So let us understand that Pancaratra is the right tradition, rather English, wrong English, rightest tradition. Rightest tradition that you have to apply this in all the temples. Now again, please remember, any temple should have been established, consecrated, purified, made holy by people of knowledge of Pancaratra. And you can also say by the gods. Now look at the three types of temple in the first line. Swayam Vyaktam, self-manifested Lord. Tatha, in the same way, Siddham. So people who are successful in their meditation, they brought the figure of Archa in the temples. Please remember this always. The final form, the fifth form of the Lord, Archa. The fourth form is Antaryami, which you can have at your own will. The third one is Vibhava. Vibhava contains all the 22 or 50 incarnations, which are explained in especially Srimad Bhagavata. What we call infinity of avatars. Infinite number of avatars, incarnations. And then the second form being Vyuha, and the first form is Paravasudeva. So now you remember Swayam Vyaktam, number one, Siddham, number two. We called it Saidham earlier, because belonging to Siddhas. And thirdly, Vibhudaihi, Divyam. The order is little changed, but the process is the same. So Vibhudaischa. Generally, Vibhudaischa, you can say great scholars, by the great scholars, or here it is gods. Daivam. Gods themselves came to the earth and established the temples. Pratishthitam, established. So this is in passive voice. So either the temple is self-manifest with the figure, or it is, you can even say, suddenly appeared by the help of Siddhas. In the sense, people do not realize that there is a temple coming up in their place without their knowledge. So Siddham, then Vibhudaihi, gods have come down to establish. Muni Mukhyahi cha. Fourth one will be what we call Munibihi, sages. So sages are different from Siddhas, as I told you, meaning The sages still have to do a lot of meditation after establishing the temple. Whereas Siddhas, when you find the temples have been constructed by Siddhas, there is no further improvement needed, necessary. Please remember this. So Muni Mukhyahi, again important sages. Important sages. You will find in many temples a reference to a sage in the sanctum sanctorum itself or outside the sanctum sanctorum. Outside the Sannidhi, namely, for example, Uppiliyappan Kovil, that is called Vinnagar. Vinnagar. Akashapuram. Akashapuri. It's called Akashapuri, where Markandeya Maharishi was responsible for Lord coming there to take the role of his son-in-law. So Markandeya is the sage. The Markandeya Maharishi's figure is also in the Sanctum Sanctorum. Therefore, he himself is also worshipped as Lord himself. Now, the point here is also, please remember, whenever there is an association of any soul, whether it is Nityasuri or Muktas, released souls, or sages like Markandeya, then or Siddhas, all have become as respectable as Bhagavan. That's the meaning. That's the meaning here. So Muni Mukhyaischa. Then you have some more categories. Gandharvaihi, the musicians of heaven. They are the songsters in heaven. Gandharvaihi. Yakshaihi. Yaksha is a category of people who are under the control of the god of wealth, namely Kubera. Kubera is called Yakshapati. He is the master of Yakshas. And they are also responsible for the light music, rather sweet music. The Gandharva Ganam will be scintillating. Please remember the music that scintillates. Rajagopalan Swami sings and we are drowned in the music ocean. And therefore that is called Gandharva. And then here it is Yaksha. So Yakshaganam as it is in Karnataka. Yakshaganam is in Karnataka. Then Vidyadharai here. If you read the Tirupalli Aichi of Tonradipudi Alvar, you will understand these words are coming there. Vichadhara Nukar. Vichadhara is called Vidyadhara. The Vidyadharaihi, again, Vidya as knowledge, wisdom. So Vidyadharaha means one who possesses the knowledge, and Vidyadharaihi by those people who possess knowledge, namely all kinds of Vidya, especially the music connected with the temples. And you will find, I think, how many of you have observed in the temples while doing Samprokshanam, what you call Kudamulukku Vila, or say Samprokshanam. The music by especially Nadaswara Vidwan will be played. The tawil, the drum, the tawil is called a drum. In Tamil, it's called tawil. So the tawil as well as the pipe music, we say. Pipe music, Nadaswara. So this will be played and different ragas will be used, tunes will be used in Samprokshanam in every corner of the temple. In the at least four corners of the temple, in four directions, you will find the music will be played. So almost all three of them are connected with music. Gandharva, Yaksha and Vidyadhara. And then Rakshobhihi. There is also one more. That is, rather we call it a low standard temple. I'm just guessing. Rakshobhihi meaning by the demons. There you have a lot of castes there, names there, Raksasaha, Danavaha, Daityaha, Asuraha. So many words for demons. So, Rakshobhihi, by demons. Don't take it as Raksha means protection. So Rakshobhihi means protectors. So they also have, demons also have constructed temples. And that will be what we call, you say, you find out violent figured temples in the villages, in the corners of the villages, in the outskirts of the villages, in the suburb of the villages. You will find that even the goddess is very terrible to look at. Goddess is very terrible to look at. And God is naturally terrible. So such temples have been constructed by demons. So what do we call them? How do we categorize them? Namely, adhamaihi. They are the lowest in standards. Rakshobhihi adhamaihi. Again, you can have a very mean demon to construct a temple. There are some demons who are meaner than others. Meaner than others means lesser in quality than others. And therefore, they are also constructing temples. Then Mukhehi. So among the all the categories of people, take for example the previous line also. The previous line also. So Gandharvaihi, Yakshaihi, Vidyadharaihi, Rakshobhihi, Adhamaihi, Mukhyaihi. So take for example, very important people among Gandharvas, very important people among Yakshas, very important people among Vidyadharas, very important demons among Rakshasas, and very base Rakshasas also. So again, you understand the bad people under Gandharva community, the worst people under Yaksha clan, and again, worst people in Vidyadhara society, and also worst people under demon category. So, if they have established the temple, Stapitam, Mantra Vigraham, that is very important. All these categories of temples must have a figure established through the spells of the scriptures. Mantra Vigraham. Mantra Vigraham. Then Divya Shastra Ukta Vidhina Pujayet Shastra Kovida. So whatever be the temple, now it is the final conclusion. Whatever be the temple type, whether it is self-manifest or made up by Siddhas, or made up by gods, or by Gandharvas, or by Yakshas, or by Vidyadharas, or by demons, and all the best and worst of these societies. So what should we do? Shastra Kovidaha, a great expert. Kovidaha means expert. Shastra Kovidaha, expert in science, that is Pancaratra, will worship Pujayet Divya Shastrokta Vidina by the Pancaratra tradition. So Vedanta Deshika's assertion is that the temples can be converted from the old type to Pancaratra tradition by a knowledgeable person. No harm in transforming an old temple or a new temple to follow Pancaratra. There's nothing wrong about it. So iti, thus, idamapi divya shastrasya sarvasthaneshu sambhavam darshe. Now, what Vedanta Deshika swears, S-W-E-A-R-S, swears that Pancharatra tradition is a divine tradition and it can be applied to all places. It is applicable to all places. And it also shows such incidents in the Parameshwara Samhita. Please remember this. Parameshwara Samhita shows that, Darshayati shows that, Sambhavam, the incidents that occurred in all the places, Sarvasthaneshu, Divya Shastrasya of Pancaratra. Natu Shastrantara Parityagena Divya Pravesham. And while we do not give up the Shastrantara, namely Vaikhanasa and other traditions, if you want to say, you can include all other traditions. Shastrantara Parityagena, by giving up all the other traditions, Divya Pravesham na, the divine entry is not possible. The divine entry is not possible, meaning when we consecrate a divine figure in the temple by establishing a Divya Mangala Vigraha, what we understand is by the tradition of Pancharatra is that we infuse, not that we infuse, the life is infused, infused into the divine figure. We give life to the figure. When we say we give, the Lord Himself acts through us. So the Lord Himself wills, WILLS, wills that He must be present in the temple through the priest. So otherwise, no entry. Then Yacha Anantaram Uktam, which has been said later. Yat, which, cha, and Anantaram later, Uktam said. Apidam Manujay Devam. Munivakyana yatratu. Pujaye dvija tan tatra api. Jnanibihi tattvadarshibhi. While somebody is an expert in understanding the Pancharatra tradition with the knowledge of scriptures perfectly, then there is no trouble. There is no trouble. So, O Brahmin, hey Dvija, look at the second line. Hey Dvija, O Brahmin, Brahmin in the sense a man of spiritual knowledge. That means who has been initiated by the what you call sacred thread, and one who has been born in a family of Dvija. Again, Dvija begets a Dvija, twice born begets a twice born, and then so here it is Dvija is an address to Lord Creator, Brahma. Dvijottama, we came across the word Dvijottama. So Tatrapi, in that context also, Jnanibihi, by the wise people, Tattvadarshibhihi, who see the point and or the principle in the traditions, will see that puja will go on, the Aradhanam will go on in the temples established Stapitam by Manujai, by men, by human beings. Daivam Munivakyena Yatrati. Devam Munivakyena Yatrati. So Devam Pujayat, Lord must be worshipped, Lord Sriman Narayana must be worshipped, Munivakyena Yatrati. If men establish a temple, if human beings establish a temple, then we must follow the sages' words, as though it's a temple of sages. In 2016, about 6 years or 7 years ago, I found a lady in Chennai. She claimed that she was a spiritual lady, and she established a temple in Bengaluru, fully made up of the divine figure, fully made up of Salagram. I just saw in the last month in Mysuru, in the Satchidananda, Ganapati Satchidananda Swami Ashram, I saw Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, Hanuman made up of Salagram. So meaning these are all established by the human beings, even by ladies. So that lady established a big temple. I so far couldn't visit that in Bangalore. But she attracted a lot of devotees, and then she has advertised her temple, and that the divine figure is made up fully of Salagrama stone. So even a lady can establish such a temple. Now, then third line, Vasudeva Ikanishthaistu Devatantra Varjitai. These are the two important aspects of whatever we said earlier, namely, no other deity must be remembered. Devatantara Varjitaihi. Avoid all other deities. Remember whom? Vasudeva Ekanishthai. Those who concentrate their mind only on Vasudeva. Vasudeva doesn't mean, as I told you, immediately the son of Vasudeva. It means he is responsible for the welfare of the entire creation. Therefore, he is called Vasudeva. Vasu means wealth. Devaha means Lord. And therefore, the greatest Lord of all the wealth of the universe. And he is called Paravasudeva. In Vyuha, he is called Vasudeva. In Vibhavam, as Krishna, he is called Vasudeva. And in Archa form, he can be called Vasudeva. And in Srirangam, you have a separate Sannidhi for that. So again, you are Antaryami. Your mind, our mind can imagine a Vasudeva in our heart. So Vasudeva is common to all. So Vasudeva, there is no other God denoted by the word Vasudeva. You cannot say any other God as the God of the entire creation and wealth of the creation. He is the prosperity of the creation. And therefore, Vasudeva Ikanishthaistu, those who are very much involved and deep in their devotion towards Vasudeva, these temples can be worshipped with the help of the Pancaratra tradition, which is called the divine science. That's all. Iti, idancha. Now you have to understand some more ideas. So idamcha, this also, this too, Vyamishra Munivakya Sthapite api. Now we are talking about the process applied in these temples. So when the sages' words are taken into consideration, serious consideration, mixed by the other traditions, Vyamishra. Vyamishra means well mixed, well associated. Munivakya Sthapitepi. In the temples established by the words of the sages, Thane, in those places, Vyamishra Yagam Uktaihi, Vasudevaikanishthaihi, Pujana Matram Prashastam Vitya. Now you find we propitiate through a sacrifice all gods. According to the Veda, according to the scriptures, we mention all the riks, rather hymns of the scriptures, where many gods have been mentioned by name. And you will find that we will have to consider them as Vasudeva himself, because Vasudeva is the Antaryami, the inner soul of all the deities whom we adore and invoke in the fire ritual. Look at the words, Vyamishra Yaga Muktai. So when the yagas also, sacrifices are also mixed, then Vasudeva Ikanishthai. Again, please remember, Vasudeva is the main puppet, P-U-R-P-O-R-T, puppet, and the aim and goal of the destination for the people. So, Vasudeva Ikanishthaihi, Pujana Matram Prashastam Itya. Only the worship is what we call adorable. Prashastam is adorable. highly appreciate. Pujana matram prashastam ityah. Na punaha munivakya parityagena. Again, if we give up the sentences of the sages, words of the sages, twadhikara ananuguna utkrishta shastrena pujanam vidadhati. Na vidadhati. The letter na is there in the beginning. So worship is not to be done. Pujanam na vidadhati. We must not arrange a worship by giving up the sentence words of the sages as though we take up our cudgels against them. Cudgels. We take our own right, we exercise our own right, and we give up the words of the sages. That is not right. And it is also not in tune with the best science, namely Pancaratra. So please look at the words. Ananuguna Utkrishta Shastra. There is the best science. If it is not in the worship, if it is not connected with the best science, namely Pancaratra, the puja is, you can say, useless. No arrangement of that kind of worship must be done. Prag Pravarta Shastra, we have to go to the next page, next line. Anusarena, Taihi api tatra pujanasya yuktatva. So again, the worship there is not proper. I think the first letter na is there in the beginning of the sentence, in the page 36 at the end. The na is there. And the na must be taken. This na must be taken again. So na yuktatvat, it is improper, it is inappropriate that we must follow the previous tradition which has been in vogue, VOGUE, that is in practice in the temples, by giving up the present best science called Pancaratra. So it is not proper to give up the best science Pancaratra and follow a tradition which has been in practice in those temples. Then again, Utkrishta Shastra Nishthanam api Apakrishta Shastra Dharmeshu Loka Anugrahartham Pravrittehe Samhitantaradi Siddhasya. Once changing to Pancaratra, don't change back. Don't revert. Samhitantaradi Siddhatvasya Prageva Darshitatva. Now, the simple sentence which Vedanta Desika wants to give us is, remember what we read earlier. Remember what we read earlier. So, Prageva earlier itself, Darshitatvat, because it has been shown that what will be the resultant effect of using some other Samhita in the name of the prosperity of the world. In order to bless this world, Loka Anugrahartham Pravrittehe, which has been in progress, Samhitantaradi Siddhatvasya, what will be the resultant effect? Shastra Dharmeshu, in the right science, in the rules of science, Utkrishta Shastra Nishthanam api Apakrishta Shastra Dharmeshu. So people who are involved in the right science, namely Pancaratra, the best science, if they see some progress for the sake of the prosperity of the world, which has been said as principles under the bad sciences, then the resultant effect has already been mentioned. So let us not repeat. That's what he says. Please try to remember. If you don't remember, go back to the pages. So, Yacha idam anantara idam anantaram abhidhiyate, which has been said abhidhiyate, is said later. If you want to remember, recall your memory, then you can do it later because it will be repeated in future. So, Vyamishra Yaga Muktaistu, Tivra Bhakti Samanvitai. Now, in the case of fire rituals which have been mixed in the procedures, people must be very much devoted. Tivra Bhakti Samanvitai. People will be associated with serious devotion. They must be fanatics. So, Sthapitam Manujendraihi too. The leaders of the human beings, when they have established a temple, Sthapitam, established, Manuja Indraihi, leaders of human beings, then Nishadvakadi Kovidai. So, we saw this word earlier in the form of Nishekaha. Nishekaha. I think we must find out a change in spelling. Why? Why there is a change in spelling? Nishadvakadi Kovidai. We are talking of experts who understood the Pancaratra very well. I think the spelling is different here. Nishadvaka. Nishadvaka will be what we call depositing the divine figure in the temple. In the sense, you create a sanctum sanctorum, then put the figure, divine figure, auspicious figure in the middle of the sanctum sanctorum. What space must be given around the divine figure must be fixed by only Pancharatra, not we, not according to our whims and fancies. Then Achaye Deva Devesham, Divya Shastrokta Vartam. Deva Devesham is Lord Sriman Narayana, Lord Vishnu, Lord Vasudeva, as another is called. So Deva Devesham, because God of gods. You please remember three words are there. Deva, Deva, Isham. God of gods of gods. So God of gods of gods. So he must be worshipped Archayat Divya Shastra Ukta Vartmana by the path set by the divine signs, namely Pancharatra. So remember the word Pancharatra every time that we Vedanta Deshika says the word Divya Shastram, divine signs. Iti idamapi Divya Shastrena Sthapita Sthana Vishayam Anusandhe. Again, whether it is irrespective of the place in which the temple is situated, the usage of Pancharatra is to be borne in mind, B-O-R-N-E, in the mind. Divya Shastrena Sthapitasthana Vishayam Anusandhe. Always it must be remembered the matter, namely the place and the type of Divya Shastram, Pancharatra, used in order to establish the temple. Idam tu avashishyate. This remains to be said. Only a few parts more. The rest of it is the rest of it will be given here. Yate Uktam. So this paragraph by the bold letters is found to be Munivakya Parityaga Purvaka Divya Marga Parigraha Vachanasya Divya Marga Prashamsa Parat. So adopting the best way is to follow the divine signs shown with a path shown by following the words to be accepted in order that it's a sacrificing tendency of a group of sages. I think I'm putting a long sentence as it is in Sanskrit. So let us split into. Sages have said some words about the procedures. So they will be deleted. They will be sacrificed. But the divine path is shown. Which shows the divine path? Pancaratra tradition. Why Pancaratra tradition shows the path? Because it is a divine science. So when we accept the words which shows the path toward the right direction, then Divya Marga Prasamsa Paratva. So going on the divine way, divine route, ROUTE, that will stand us in good state.
ராமானுஜதயா வாக்தம் ஞான வைராக்கிய பூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதாத்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்த தேசிகம். கவிதார்க்கிக சிம்மாய கல்யாண குணசாலினே ஸ்ரீமதே வெங்கடேசாய வேதாந்த குரவே நமக. வாதிதிபசிரோ பங்க பஞ்சானன பராக்கிரமா ஸ்ரீமான் வெங்கடநாதார்ய சிரம் விஜயதாம் புகே. சீரொன்று தோப்போ திருவேங்கடமுடையார் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் வாரொன்று தானே வயாதோதரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வனேர போமளவும்
ராமானுஜதயா பாத்திரம் ஞானவைராக்யபூஷணம் ஸ்ரீமத்வேங்கடநாதார்யம் வந்தே வேதாந்ததேசிகம்.
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய.